Law 4, imagination. Imagination is the workshop of the mind. It is the power by which man fashions thought into plans and plans into reality. Every great fortune, every empire, every invention, every work of art first existed in the mind of a man who dared to imagine it. 90 days of disciplined imagination will save you decades of wandering without vision, for imagination gives birth to definiteness, and definiteness directs all other powers. Thomas Edison's imagination gave the world light. He did not stumble blindly into invention. He pictured what could be before he touched a single instrument. His imagination allowed him to see the invisible and pursue the intangible until it became tangible. Without imagination, his laboratory would have been a house of wasted tools. With imagination, it became a temple of progress. Henry Ford imagined an automobile for the common man when others laughed at the impossibility. He pictured farmers, workers, and families riding with ease across the land. That picture lived in his mind long before the assembly line existed. His imagination created a vision so definite that his entire life bent to its fulfillment. Within a short span, what began as imagination became the reality of millions. Andrew Carnegie imagined steel not as it was, but as it could be. He envisioned a nation of railroads, bridges, and buildings forged from his mills. That vision drew capital, men, and resources to him until his imagination crystallized into wealth of such magnitude that it altered the destiny of a nation. Without imagination, he would have remained a poor immigrant. With it, he became a titan. But imagination is not idle fancy. Many men dream without discipline, and their dreams remain clouds. Idle fancy is a thief of time, producing nothing but regret. Creative imagination is work, requiring focus, persistence, and purpose. It is the deliberate act of forming pictures, refining them into plans, and pressing them into action. The man who indulges in idle dreams wastes decades. The man who trains his imagination saves decades. For the next 90 days, you must practice imagination daily. Each morning, after speaking your definite chief aim, close your eyes and picture it as already achieved. See the details: the house, the office, the bank account, the respect, the freedom. Feel the emotions of success until they burn in your chest. This is not fantasy. It is training your subconscious to believe, and what the subconscious believes, it commands the body and the world to create. Say aloud, I create in mind what I demand in life. My imagination is the workshop where riches are built. I picture my aim, and my aim becomes reality. Repeat this until your subconscious accepts it. 90 days of such practice will ingrain imagination as a habit, and habit becomes destiny. Imagination must also be exercised in solving problems. When obstacles appear, do not curse them. Ask, what picture can I form of victory here? Edison did not see failure in his thousands of experiments. He saw new paths. Lincoln, in the midst of war, imagined a united nation and used that vision to endure. Rockefeller, in crises, imagined larger opportunities and seized them. These men used imagination not to escape reality, but to command it. Beware of borrowed imagination. Many men waste years copying others, imitating instead of creating. Such imitation may bring survival, but never greatness. Your imagination must be your own. Learn from others, but imagine for yourself. 90 days of copying will chain you to mediocrity. 90 days of creating will set you free. Controlled imagination is a discipline. Let your evenings be spent in picturing tomorrow's actions. Before sleep, imagine the next day's victories. Let your subconscious labor through the night to prepare. This nightly practice will save you 10 years of wandering and indecision, for each day will begin with a picture already drawn and a path already chosen. Remember always, imagination is the beginning of every creation. A house, a machine, a business, a fortune, all were imagined first. The drifter mocks imagination and pays the price with decades of mediocrity. The man of vision honors imagination and receives decades of reward in a fraction of the time. So let this be your creed. I dare to imagine. I discipline my imagination. I create visions so strong they bend reality. My imagination is not idle. It is creative, powerful, and definite. 90 days of such practice will make you a master of vision, and the world will follow the pictures you create. Law 5, action and decision. Indecision is the thief of decades. A man may possess burning desire, deep faith, and vivid imagination, yet if he hesitates when the moment for action arrives, he loses everything. The habit of postponing decisions, of waiting for absolute certainty, of seeking the approval of others before moving, robs men not only of fortunes, but of life itself. 90 days of decisive action can accomplish more than 30 years of hesitation. Andrew Carnegie, whose name became synonymous with steel, was a man of rapid and firm decision. Once his mind grasped an opportunity, he acted swiftly and, when necessary, boldly. His competitors wasted months debating. He acted in days. This habit of decision made him the master of opportunity rather than its servant. His wealth was not built on luck, but on decisiveness. Abraham Lincoln, in the midst of war, was forced to decide under pressure. The fate of a nation rested upon his choices. He did not have the luxury of waiting for unanimous approval. His decision to issue the Emancipation Proclamation, though criticized, was final and irrevocable. That act not only reshaped a war, but altered the destiny of a nation. Had he wavered, history itself would have condemned him. The indecisive man wastes decades because each moment of hesitation compounds. While he waits, another man acts. While he gathers more information, another seizes the prize. While he debates, another has already begun. The world does not wait for the hesitant. Opportunity bows only to the decisive. Action and decision are twins. Decision is the thought. Action is the deed. A decision not acted upon is nothing but wish. Too many men deceive themselves by claiming they have decided while they do nothing. A true decision is followed immediately by action. 90 days of acting on your decisions without delay will ingrain a habit that saves you years of wasted chances. Carnegie once said that the great majority of men never achieve because they cannot make decisions quickly and firmly. They drift from one path to another, swayed by the opinions of others, undone by fear of criticism, paralyzed by fear of failure. The successful man decides, stands firm, and if he errs, he corrects his course through persistence. The failure never decides, and so he has nothing to correct. To train yourself in decision, begin now. Each day for the next 90, resolve quickly upon at least one matter, then act. Do not allow yourself to fall back into delay. This practice, though small, builds the muscle of decisiveness. In time, your mind will instinctively choose and act. This habit alone will save you 10 years of hesitation. Say aloud, I decide quickly, I act boldly. My decisions are final, my actions are firm. Indecision has no place in me. Hesitation is my enemy. Decision is my ally. Repeat this until your subconscious accepts it. 90 days of such affirmation, coupled with action, will ingrain decisiveness into your character. Thomas Edison decided to create light and acted, though thousands of failures followed. His decision was not tentative, it was absolute. Each failure was simply another step. He did not redecide each day whether to continue. His initial decision carried him. That is the power of true decision. It creates momentum that endures through failure. Henry Ford decided upon the automobile for the common man. That decision was final. Critics mocked. Investors withdrew. Machines failed. But his decision did not change. Because he acted firmly and continued acting, he achieved in a few decades what others had attempted for generations. The man who drifts never enjoys such power. He spends his years preparing to prepare, waiting to wait, planning to plan. At the end of his life, he is left with nothing but unfulfilled desires and wasted time. The penalty of indecision is defeat. The reward of decision is destiny. I command you now, for 90 days, hesitate no more. Choose swiftly. Act immediately. Do not look back. If correction is needed, persist until you correct it. Better a wrong decision acted upon than no decision at all, for indecision paralyzes, while action produces momentum. The world respects the man who moves, not the man who wavers. Repeat with me once more. I decide quickly. I act boldly. My decisions are my fortress. My actions are my victory. 90 days of decisive living will save me decades of drift. Ingrain this law, and you will never again be a slave to hesitation. You will be the master of your destiny. Law 6, enthusiasm. No man can influence others. No man can hold himself to great effort without enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the fuel of achievement. It is the force that multiplies persistence, that makes labor a pleasure, that inspires allies, and that burns away the fog of doubt. A man may possess knowledge, but if he presents it without enthusiasm, it falls flat. A man may have skill, but if he acts without enthusiasm, he wearies quickly. Enthusiasm alone transforms drudgery into delight and difficulty into opportunity. Charles M. Schwab was known for his boundless enthusiasm. He carried into the steel business an energy so radiant that it lifted entire companies. When others grew weary, his optimism revived them. When doubt crept in, his cheer drove it out. Carnegie said Schwab's enthusiasm was worth more to him than raw steel, for it inspired men to give their best. Schwab rose from obscurity to leadership not merely by talent, but by enthusiasm. 90 days of Schwab's cheer equaled years of another man's cold efficiency. Enthusiasm is not noise. It is not false cheer or forced smiles. It is the inner fire of belief expressed in tone, manner, and action. Men are drawn to the enthusiastic man because his energy confirms his faith. They say, if he believes so strongly, it must be possible. Enthusiasm persuades where logic fails, for it strikes the heart before the mind. A leader without enthusiasm may be tolerated, but never truly followed. Henry Ford's enthusiasm for his vision infected his workers, investors, and customers. He believed with such vigor that his energy swept aside doubts. His speeches were simple, but his tone convinced. He inspired faith in his aim not by argument, but by enthusiasm. Without it, his critics would have crushed him. With it, he crushed their doubts. Enthusiasm is contagious. A single man burning with passion can ignite hundreds. Edison's laboratory assistants worked long hours, not because they were ordered, but because his enthusiasm compelled them. He radiated such excitement that his men could not help but share it. A team led by enthusiasm multiplies its output, while a team led by cold command barely moves. For the next 90 days, you must kindle enthusiasm daily. Begin each morning by reading your definite chief aim aloud with passion. Do not recite it like a dull chant. Speak it with emotion. Picture it vividly until your whole being trembles with excitement. That excitement will carry into your day. By noon, when fatigue comes, read it again, aloud, with renewed energy. By evening, review it with the same fire. This practice ingrains enthusiasm until it becomes habit. Say aloud, I radiate enthusiasm. I kindle fire in myself and in others. My energy attracts allies, multiplies my power, and shortens the years into days. Repeat until you feel it. For enthusiasm cannot be faked before your subconscious. It must be real. Practice until it becomes natural. Understand that enthusiasm is not only for yourself, it is for others. Speak with vigor. Act with energy. Enter each task as though it were the most important in the world. Men will notice. They will begin to listen, to trust, to follow. Opportunities will be drawn to you, for opportunity loves the enthusiastic. Employers promote them, customers buy from them, allies gather around them. 90 days of enthusiasm will build alliances that another man could not form in years. Cold indifference is poison. A man without enthusiasm repels opportunity. He may be skilled, but his manner kills interest. He may be intelligent, but his voice puts men to sleep. He may be hard-working, but his lack of energy destroys morale. The penalty of coldness is years of wasted labor. The reward of enthusiasm is decades of progress condensed into months. Abraham Lincoln, though often weary, spoke with such conviction that his enthusiasm for the Union stirred even his enemies. His passion, not his logic, held the people. He carried himself with an energy born of purpose, and that energy kept a nation together. Without enthusiasm, his speeches would have been forgotten. With it, they are remembered centuries later. Enthusiasm strengthens persistence. A man who forces himself to act without enthusiasm wearies quickly. A man who acts with passion endures gladly. 90 days of enthusiasm will give you more stamina than years of forced labor. It transforms duty into joy, necessity into privilege. Enthusiasm is the secret that makes hard work light. So I command you, cultivate enthusiasm. Each day, stir your spirit before you act. Each day, speak your aim with fire. Each day, carry yourself as though victory were already yours. Enthusiasm is the cloak of kings, and when you wear it, men cannot help but notice. Repeat once more. I radiate enthusiasm. I inspire confidence. I multiply my power through energy. I carry the fire of belief in all I do. Enthusiasm shortens years into days. 90 days of this practice will ingrain enthusiasm into your identity. And from that moment forward, the world will feel it in your presence.